We see the determined eyes of a beautiful samurai-ko. She's looking up at something out of the reach of a normal person. It's not out of hers. Ikoma Yuriko sets to climbing up the rock face in front of her. It seems familiar until she is about halfway up, and we can see the village below. As Yuriko gets to the top of the steep rock formation that surrounds the lunar cave, we see her unfurl a long rope she has wrapped across her chest. She ties it to a dried-up tree precariously positioned at the mouth of the opening we have seen, allowing the light of the moon that appears as the blinking eye to this place of dark power. In the light of the day, though, it seems frightfully ordinary, just a hole in a big rock. Secured, she tosses the rest of the 60 to 70 feet of rope. She tests its anchor, and then carefully rappels in. Only a narrow shaft of daylight illuminates the place Yuriko lands. Her foot disturbs a collection of bones, far more bones than were left here when the magistrates interrupted Henjo and the moon cold. Something has been living here. Something dark. We see Yuriko's eyes dart as a shifting sound breaks the pregnant silence. She draws her sword and stands expectantly in the beam of light. Pressing forward, a huge winged creature appears. It opens its hideous mouth to reveal a tongue with the face of a woman on it. It looms massive over the samurai-ko, wings outstretched, talons glistening, and that terrible scream. We cut away to the top of the rock formation. The dried-up tree sits in quiet solitude. From the hole, a leathery black wing appears. It juts out and clumsily slaps the rocks till it finds a place to hold. Omino Seryoku pulls itself up and out of the lunar cave. It is bleeding black ichor and limps forward. It struggles out of the cave. It screams. It is in pain. It is scared. It is hungry. The lone dried-up tree sits, a quiet anchor to a rope leading down to darkness, or up from it.
A large city surrounded by green walls and acres of poppy fields. A group of monks traveled toward the city, exchanging prayers for whatever alms the poor peasants of the countryside can spare. In the noble quarter, we see a beautiful but imposing palace and a foreign-looking minareted estate. In the temple quarter, we see the glistening white temple of the sun goddess with a 60-foot pole topped by a shimmering golden spear, and the temple of the fortune of wealth with its towering statue of the patriot god of the city. Next door, in the merchant quarter, we see busy streets with noisy merchants selling wares from all over Rokugan and beyond. On the other side of the Bay of Drowned Honor, the fisherman's quarter, dirtier with poorer commoners, meaner gangs, and shabby dwellings amid the docks and warehouses. We pass the leather workers' quarter, the home of the Hida, the Untouchables, and the only building of notice there, the city crematorium. Finally, we arrive at Teardrop Island, the license quarter, with its perpetual twilight of hanging lanterns, fine sake and geisha houses. We follow a man in a basket hat as he's beckoned inside by a beautiful geisha. He enters and removes his hat. We see one of the monks from the beginning. Ryoko Owari, City of Lies.
We see a scene in which a lot of people have gathered outside of a tea house or a sake house that we haven't necessarily seen just yet. A lot of people are, for ease of identification, wearing some purple to identify them as part of the unicorn clan. And they gathered around very clearly to see what all the ruckus is and what all the hubbub is. And we quickly see a man yelling. He's an old man. And he's screaming at another older man. Not as old. Very great description. So, the old man who's yelling is Shinjo Yoshifusa. And he's screaming, hurling insults and accusations at Ide Baronado, who seems to have come out of this establishment his son, Hida Yasumitsu, and his niece, Utaku Genshi, whose sister Naishi was killed by Saiga. The old man is screaming at him, and he screams like, "You're the murderer! You ought to be executed for what you've done. You don't even deserve a good death. You ought to be hanged." So, I also don't remember 100% what his old man voice is supposed to sound.
Close enough.
Alright. But yeah, the crowd is very clearly hearing all of this stuff. Again, we see Hida Yasumitsu looks worried. Baronado's son. Utaku Genshi looks fairly annoyed and fairly pissed off at this. And Baronado endures this for a while longer and then just says, like, go get the magistrates. And Utaku Genshi kind of grits her teeth, puts her hand on her sword, tightens her obi, and then kind of heads off. So, you guys are all there at the magistrate residence, or wherever she meets you for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it would be the residence, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to tell us what you're doing while you're there, that works. Because we've established Asako Anjo has been living at Asako Kinto's old house.
Oh, weird.
Is what we said.
Like, relative bud. Perfect.
Well, I mean, we could ditch that and say you have just been living here, but we could also. It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you. Sure.
That makes it easy.
So you just want to I've been living in the residence?
Sure. Okay. Not tight.
Okay. Well, then, but there's specifically a reason, like, all of you are here all at the same time. Is it just by happenstance that that's the case? Is it?
It's just like really early morning.
It's just really early in the morning, and so like people maybe are getting ready to go do office hours or go
waking up and getting ready, and that makes like just Truce's bullshit like even worse.
Okay. Just for fun, who's the least ready? Who's like I haven't even had my morning Joe yet.
I'll be the least ready.
Okay, so Aji's the least ready in this situation. Alright.
Only half a pipe in.
Yeah.
Shit. I gotta put this away.
Alright, soon enough the servants alert you that Utaku Genshi is here to see you, and she has, she says she has urgent news. Utaku Genshi.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure have her, and she's only an annoyance, but...
Okay.
Well...
So, I think so we've said Aji is probably not this person. Who's the first one into kind of the waiting room to come meet her?
Yes.
So it's probably not Aji if he's the one like least ready. It could be all three of you.
I want Justin to be Aji because he's so ready. He was just like
he's stumbling.
Doing something. He was in there doing something, and then she walks in. He's like,
"That's where he passed out."
It's real mad at Yugare, right?
It's mad at everybody in the whole world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it is Yugare. Like, maybe I was already up writing some poetry for the morning. The servant tells me, and I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. Make sure to let the other magistrates know to meet us, and I'll go in.
Ooh. I think she'll say to you, like, when you come in, let's say you come in, the other people are getting ready, but they're a minute or so behind.
Yeah.
You kind of come in, and when they're not just like directly behind you, I think her response is, "Are the others coming?"
I've asked the servant to summon them as well. Yes. They should be here momentarily.
I think she'll she kind of waits a bit. She'll take maybe like 30 or 40 seconds to wait. Just kind of like okay, like I don't want to tell this guy this situation. I'll wait till these other people are here. And then it gets to the point of like, this is something that is time sensitive, and she begins telling you this information. And so she'll say, like, Shinjo Yoshifusa is making false claims about my uncle Baronato. I'm afraid that if he continues doing this, there'll be some kind of scene. There's already a big crowd gathered, and he seems incredibly. And I think that's maybe when you guys come in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think as soon as they come in, I'll realize that she, everything you said, like, she kind of awkwardly didn't want to say it, and then did, and that was interrupted. So I'll try to catch them up and, like, restate her story as truth, as opposed to as the thing that she said. If that makes sense.
Sure. I think that you can you start that a bit. You start kind of doing that, and about where she left off in telling Yugare that story, she jumps back in and says, like...
So you interrupting.
Yeah, interrupting.
I didn't hear the rest.
Yeah. Right, but and she'll...
Before you can cut it.
Yeah, and Genji just says, like, the claims that he's making are false, and he's attempting to, like, besmirch my uncle's name. Neither my uncle nor I want to kill an old man for his rantings. But if he continues doing this, that might be the only solution. If one of you could go speak with him, and I think she's much more looking at Ishi. If one of you could please speak with him, it could perhaps save the city of the turmoil of having to deal with a Hatamoto being killed. Yeah, she'll just assert very plainly that Yoshifusa will get killed.
This is option A. We're doing that right now. Option B is
Kill.
we're going to kill him.
Yeah. She's like, he's an ancient old man. He was a good warrior when he was young. He's not young.
Alright. Well, I suppose we have to go out there and try to defuse the situation.
And Aji's still not here?
I think Aji's maybe like in the process of getting ready. You know who is here, but Aji can be here if he wants. It's just, he's been either the last one to enter the room, or maybe he isn't here yet. Whatever's more dramatic.
I think at least Anjo will just cross his arms and just, we should wait for the magistrate who's an expert on dueling, I suppose. If you think it's coming to that.
And that's when Aji walks in.
Alright.
There's audience top.
Yeah.
Kramer.
Yeah, just thinking of that. Oh.
What's going on here?
Idiot, he says.
So there's some disturbance of the peace.
Yeah, she'll say, you need to go, like, please, you need to go deal with this.
Let's go with.
Mm-hmm.
Seems who needs to go? It seems not exactly up to or abreast of the entire situation.
I'll just probably come along just in case anything happens, and you can come along to get more. Because you've been here for like a month.
Sure.
Months? To, just to see more of the internal politics of the city.
Is this a two-person job?
She's like, please, Ishi-sama, my uncle and Yoshifusa both view you as a friend. If you go there to mediate this, it would be greatly appreciated. And now, perhaps Do you think she knows Asako Anjo's first name, like his personal name, or she would just call you like Asako-san?
Okay.
Yeah,
You just should.
or she would just
She's done any research on
Yeah.
it's hidden it, right?
right. So like, oh, Asako-sama, if you could go as well, it might be particularly useful. Yoshifusa has become more and more irate ever since he started like working, buddying up to the Scorpion. Maybe magistrates of your skill could be useful in dissuading Yoshifusa from violence.
Anjo like rolls his eyes, just like, of course the Scorpion are behind everything in this that goes wrong in the sea. Not surprised.
Alright, so you can come with them? Perfect.
Sure, I thought from what you had told me that the Unicorn and Scorpion were not quite friends.
I was merely speaking about the Paramount family.
Alright. Let's see what's going on.
Did you recall?
Are we all going, or
You can tag along if you want. I invited these two. You can tag along.
Yeah, why not?
Come on.
yeah?
So you all go to head out. Everybody goes to head out, and I think Genshi, and in this culture, touching is not a big thing.
So what about
Super rude is not a thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
desecrating corpses though?
Yeah,
Is that cool?
she picks up your
No, it's not good, you
father's
guys.
severed
It's not good, are you sure?
and touches you with that. But you feel like a hand on your shoulder, Yugare, as the kind of the group walks away, and it's almost a hand. I think the message of the hand is like hold on for a second.
It's not a gentle.
So it's firm, but it's not like grabbing you or shoving you in any capacity.
Yeah.
But kind of like a like wait 1 minute.
Yeah. Oh, turn back.
And Utaku Genshi kind of just stares at you for a moment as these guys kind of head up ahead a little bit, and she then says, "I'm not happy about this." But I made an oath that the next time I saw you, I'd kill you.
Didn't I see her at the at her house?
That's when she made that oath. She just says, like, ready yourself for this.
Oh my god.
Well, kind of want to knock her out.
Well, you know as a Shigenja,
Yeah.
if she's trying to challenge you to a duel in some capacity, you could ask for a champion to fight the duel on your behalf.
Don't want to do that.
You don't? Come on.
Because if I did that, somebody's going to die.
But it's the opposite to do, Andrew. You agree. Andrew, agree.
I think if anyone's going to die for me, including her, Yugare feels that it should just be him.
Okay. Fine.
I mean, if they were in a fight, like if she actually like just attacked him and they were fighting, he would kill her. But
So
just watch.
she certainly hasn't like drawn her sword at the moment, but you see the way like you've seen these guys fight enough where you know like the way her body is positioned, at any point she could strike you. So she's not currently doing so, and she's told you specifically to ready yourself. So again, she seems like at any moment she could strike, but she's told you to ready yourself.
Yeah, my first instinct was to try to knock her out with lightning. this move is if you're in
Let's do
physical
it.
conflict.
Well, I feel like she can definitely defend herself, so it works.
Alright.
Yeah.
This is not the honor.
Yeah, she's giving you I think she's in a position where she's giving you the option to get a second, but you don't want to do that. Not a second champion.
That's not what you're doing.
Sure. Good, roll it towards the pile of dice. It makes it easy to see.
Well, it's a 10.
Alright, 10.
Which means I choose 4.
Oh my god.
I'm going to choose non-lethal.
Okay.
She's armored?
I don't think she is.
Okay. I won't need armor piercing then. Plus 1 harm, plus 1 additional harm.
Oh my god. You chose non-lethal, sir.
Yeah, I need to... Yeah, so she won't die, but I need to get as much damage in as I can. I don't know, this one is close/far.
That just means it's ranged. She's right next to you. You're gonna be fine.
But why would close be an option?
I think if it's
closest.
yeah.
This is melee. The room is close. Far as the house.
I guess I'll just choose I suffer no harm since I get 4.
Suffer no harm. So, do we treat this with different rules than the normal stuff? For this isn't just you are using magic in a battle roll. Its rules supersede the other stuff, because in a battle roll it would automatically be assumed he's taking some harm.
Yeah, just as you take no harm.
So this is him taking no harm. Because he's using this move rather than a battle move. Yep.
Yeah, the battle move lets you choose you suffer little harm.
This is you suffer no harm. This is not. Okay. So yeah.
That's
So I thank you for what is this?
Damage for the shit.
So
that's good.
This is
what is this? What does this look like?
I think so. She
puts his face in.
grabbed Yugare's shoulder and he turned around.
Hopefully not.
He turned around and then she said that. And I imagine she's still holding his shoulder. And I'll just grab her arm and she's like, I have to kill you or whatever. It's like, I'm not happy about this, but no, she said I have to kill you, or I vowed I would kill you next time I saw you. And then there's this moment, you almost I'm comforting you because of this thing that you said you don't have to do, but then just
With my lightning.
but then it's just electricity surges through her and she hopefully collapses.
Okay, so she's gets zapped by this thing.
He did 4 harm.
And it is.
It's 2 rays.
Yes, he's doing 4 harm. So it is very much loud.
Yeah.
So you guys can hear this because you've walked away, but you're not far enough away.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you hear this
But really, I assume we see the flash first, and
Yeah,
then
well,
the thunder.
Yeah, I can see there being
I think Well, no, I think you guys hear it because you're kind of leaving, and they made the effort to. No one yelled or screamed, but I think she made the effort to hold him back. And had one of the two of them, had either Genshi or Yugare called out to you guys, you would be able to turn around and come back. I think maybe you're 30, 40 yards away. You're not super far.
Are we outside already?
Yeah, you're definitely outside.
Oh, okay.
I think you're en route.
Oh,
You might still be on the steps. Yugare might still be on the steps. Maybe that's the case.
I kind of I'm
Right for the mansion.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's just a boom, sonic boom.
Okay, so just this big boom noise.
Yeah.
As that happens, and you look back, and is she covered in smoke or anything like that?
Yeah.
Does she have a big handprint burn mark now?
No.
Okay. So when they turn back, they hear this noise and they turn back around, and
Maybe a bruise.
Bruce? Oh, that doesn't.
It's not lethal.
so I think she gets kind of knocked down and is tries to stumble back to her feet, and I think for her it was loud enough where she has a ringing in her ears and she's yelling back at you. And I think she's definitely pretty fucked up. She's pretty fucked up, but think she kind of just screams and is like, I think she just screams like, "Die, you coward!" And flings herself at you. And so I think now we are. I mean, are you? What's your game plan at that? I think she's drawing this weapon as she's palms at you, flinging herself at you.
I guess if she's having trouble hearing, this could be an issue.
I say stop, don't.
I'll shock you again, don't even. Stay back over there.
We only made a shock the monkey joke.
What? Tase you again? Stay down, stop resisting.
I want to try to offer her, perhaps this isn't the best time for you to duel.
If you want to try to talk to her, that's cool, but you're going to have to make a defy danger roll as she's coming at you.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, we can do that, but we have to deal with the fact that she's trying to cut you with a large razor blade first.
Yeah.
So, and I think before she may have in some ways pulled punches because you're not a warrior, but now it's like, okay, well those bets are off at this point.
Yeah, this little bitch. See, I can just very.
Oh, snakes!
Total of 1.
Total of okay. So, yeah. I mean, I think the straight result is that Yugare is just severely wounded.
More so.
Yeah, so he's going to take at least the regular damage for Katana it's 3, right?
I think it's 3. Little check.
Yeah, it's 3.
Pop a little quick little check. Yeah, come on. 5.
Yeah,
it's 3.
So
mounted valuable.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I think she screams that out, and you guys can kind of see this and having to see Yugare get injured, and you can tell us what goes on from there.
Well, mechanically, I don't know the result of this.
Inexperience.
Hypothetically, 2 boxes open and you're taking 3 damage.
Get extra death.
Yeah, right. Am I describing a death scene? Or
I think if you want, we can do the same thing as just if it filled up the 6th box. It's effectively the same thing because you don't have an additional box to go into negative. So it has filled up the 6th box, so you can knock down another stat if you want to not die.
It says if you suffer 6 or more harm, you're mortally wounded, but you can survive if you take permanent -1 to one of your strengths.
Right. So, you don't have to do that, but that is an option to do that. And then either way, to describe to us what we see, and these guys can be seeing this, or this could have happened as that noise was made, and maybe they just heard the boom and then the yell.
Yeah.
Or maybe they saw the more of it.
I think there's a boom and a yell, and then they probably turned to look, and now Yugare's hold on, you seem disoriented. Now's not a good time.
Now's not a good time to be fighting.
And I'm just confident she will listen to reason as she charges in with the sword. And
She definitely strikes you, and pretty severely.
yeah, I don't know. How much slicing a katana would do.
A bit.
Pretty good amount of slicing.
Getting stopped by any internal
Have
thing.
you seen people cut things with katanas?
Only a watermelon.
It's up to you. Determine how much into your rind it goes.
Because you can get pretty fucked up.
I was thinking a good slice. She just goes down onto his shoulder. She's just overhand swinging this thing.
Sure.
And goes overhand and just cuts right down into his on top of his shoulder.
Arm? How do you feel like it?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, take a limb.
Just drop a limb. Throw that bad boy out the back.
Did anyone lose a limb yet?
Menu.
Yep. That boy definitely lost it.
I can't believe we went 20 sessions, 25 sessions with no one losing limbs.
Only with one guy getting burned to death.
I feel like it was more than one.
Alright, well, sure. Let's just go for the arm then.
Okay. So she kind of...
you block it, and it's just you don't block it. Katana with the arms.
Yeah. I think the arm ends up in like 3 pieces.
Whoa.
Because like,
not what I meant.
Oh, the enemy like
no, like one slice, but like I'm trying to hold it back, and it cuts the forearm
And cut through your bicep.
the forearm and the bicep.
Okay.
That's
So you guys turn around and hear like, "Die, you coward!" as she stumblingly, very messed up, Takugenshi cuts through, like pulls her sword out and does this wild overhand strike with one hand that rips through Yugare's arm.
Oh, and then the camera goes down and it just sees like Maggie on the ground sparking.
Oh, that would be interesting. Or just sizzling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the scene you guys turn around to. Yeah, so Aji, Anjo, and Ishi all turn around and see this happening to Yugare.
I'm not the bad guy here.
I didn't name this person.
That's awesome.
He's got a defense. He's in one of the defense here.
Well, shit.
Aji will start running back.
Yeah, I'll fucking run over there and I'm gonna try to tackle this woman, I guess.
Okay. So, Aji, you said you would run back over there first. Do you have a desire to act in a particular way, or you just run back over there?
I want to stop Genshi from doing any more damage.
Okay. Stop her in what way? Like, stop her by attacking her, tackling her,
disarming her.
Okay. As Aji runs back, did Yugare fall to his knees or fall down flat, or is he still standing there almost in shock?
I think he fell kind of on his knees, but then back on his butt.
Okay. And this is the backwards version of the Willy Wonka somersault. No. Anyway, all right. But Aji arrives, and he's going to try to. Aji arrives, and he's going to try to disarm Genshi.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think that's a. And you're trying to do it through violence, right? Or are you trying to just disarm her?
Through violence?
Yeah, are you trying to hurt Genshi in the process, or just straight up make sure she doesn't hurt Yugare?
That's through physically. I want to physically disarm her.
So,
Just take their sword away.
It sees what you want with battle, right?
okay. Yeah, that sounds like a battle. I was trying to figure out if you were trying to do it without hurting Genshi specifically, and maybe it's a defy danger roll. Yeah, you just go for it. All right, let's see a battle roll. I feel like this was another.
Oh my god! Every time I try to help anybody, you fucking throw it, dude.
All right, so you rolled a 4. What plus?
That's a 1. I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Everyone dies.
Right.
Every tries to help somebody because shit, whenever he's
TPS at 1 HP.
He's just for himself. It's all good.
I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
You're so high on it.
No, so I think that Genshi is very wounded. She's also acting very desperately. I think we almost see, if we could hear her internal monologue, she thinks that this is a good way that this is fine for her to die if she does this. She's that determined. She's I promised this to my sister. I won't let her down again. I won't let her have died died unavenged. And she remembers back to Saigo killing her sister and how she felt so helpless and couldn't do anything about that because of the situation she was in. And she's just projecting all of that onto this, and now she's not letting this go. You should be able to stop her. What happens that gets in your way where actually she bests you in this?
Oh my gosh. So you know how Aji was ready today? He goes to pull his katana out and there's no katana.
You just didn't bring it. You just had it.
Or to be a weird thing in this place.
I'm just saying.
I was wondering why I felt lighter.
Yeah.
This is a mop.
It'll be
He could just legitimately be high.
He just starts giggling.
Yeah, Yeah, that's Aji.
He thinks he's moving way faster.
He just underestimates how focused she is. She seems disoriented, and then she's just too competent.
And any of those, anything.
Let's say, I tried to pull out my katana from my scabbard, but it wasn't tied on correctly, and so the scabbard actually slips as I'm pulling it out. And then Genshi has already seen me, and usually I'd pull out my katana and be ready, right? And go first, right? But since I'm delayed a little, my timings are off, but Genshi is not.
So she has guys.
So she just she's already
Don't crazy do the thing where they pull it out into his lap or some shit.
Yeah.
But so yours just wasn't tied properly. It doesn't come out of the Seiya at the same rate that you're expecting,
And then
or it moves your whole obi and it throws you completely off.
yeah, not only my position is kind of off, so is my balance because I'm expecting a swift motion, but it's not.
Okay, I like that you're kind of yanking your own belt in the middle of this movement, and she's definitely gonna hit you, and that's also gonna do. Normally would do 3 damage.
It was good. Not everybody got it.
I don't know if Aji is wearing armor in this situation.
I don't think Aji's ever worn armor his whole life.
He's pointed out that he put armor on at one point. We didn't say that today, but if we wanted to say it, I wouldn't be like, no.
So I'm not wearing armor because I wasn't prepared.
Okay, that makes perfect sense too. So when she hits Aji, what does this look like? Because 3 is in this game a lot.
Yeah, it also kills him.
Tell you what, we can go home real fast.
Oh my gosh. She just takes herself by
This character that we didn't meet till way later.
Let's say since I kind of stumbling, I'm still running at her, but it's me shoulder first, kind of like a football player.
Okay. Alright, so you just try to almost maybe shoulder check her. Mm-hmm. So maybe she ends up slashing at you with maybe cuts across part of your tricep and bicep and maybe some of your chest. Yeah, and this isn't like a Bruce Lee, I got a little bit cut on my chest and it just looks cool and Enter the Dragon kind of deal. I think this is like a severe injury.
Yeah. Pretty dead.
Do you have to knock down a stat?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You don't realize how little you kill people in this game?
I kind of do.
Just saying. Fish you did 5 or 6 harm. For 4 bucks.
Yeah.
Instead of marking the last box, you would go down a stat, right?
No, you mark it as well.
Yeah. It just doesn't kill you.
It just doesn't kill you. It's real horrible.
Alright, it's no stiff breeze. Requires you to lose another few.
And the way it's worded, it's you could be mortally wounded, but still be in the scene. It's just
just keep going negative.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting.
Yeah. So for either of you, if you want to at some point be like, that's when I die, that's alright. Okay, so this has occurred, and Genshi is more than ready to. I think she, after she strikes at Aji, she then kind of just repositions herself and turns towards Yugare again and advances towards him.
I was coming to tackle.
Okay, Ishi's trying to tackle her.
Yeah.
Alright, it sounds like another battle roll.
Killed her.
Did Yugare knows there's something?
Ishi tackle somebody? Usually just kills him.
She might not have a choice.
Yeah.
Yugare knows he's supposed to do something. He's not sure if it's stop the bleeding or put the arm back on.
Just gotta pick that up.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Alright, Bez, that's 8, 10. Awesome.
Always have to choose
to do additional harm.
Terrible harm.
Yeah.
Also suffer no harm. Just get to choose everything. Yeah. I just choose everything.
At 10?
I choose 3 and I always choose.
Yeah.
I always just get 1.
Okay, I think that under normal circumstances, she's going to be like...
I'm not trying to kill her. I'm also a very large boy. I think nearly dead one.
I think she would likely die from this, or at least be mortally wounded. But yeah, I think we better use... You're always wearing your armor, right? So I think her... Rather than even have it hit your sword, she readies herself at him and it clatters off to the side and clanks down the steps. You guys are right at the steps of the magistrate residence. The servants are outside oh no, oh my god. And you tackle her over, and I think an interesting thing would be to kind of press home that she dies without you doing in the tackle. There's almost like a banister kind of at the steps to the house, and I think as you go to tackle her, you end up pressing her against the thing, and I think you just hear the crunching noises of her back definitely broke when I rammed into her against this thing, and she slunches down in a way where her breathing is real messed up. She doesn't seem to be able to kind of prop herself up at all anymore, and you're like, okay, this woman has effectively died, though she's not immediately dead. She's just breathing heavily. Yugare is on his butt with blood all over him. Aji now has blood all over his, normally, you normally wear a lot of, white and light blue. Now it's covered in dark arterial blood. God.
I think Anjo just runs over with his hand on his katana. And he's like, enough! And just shouts to those servants that are watching. He's like, get someone to like a healer.
Sure.
She's like, staunch his wounds, fools.
They'll run over, and I think they just do not fully know what to do with this bad of an injury. They kind of no, absolutely not. So yeah, they're like I got a rag. Do I? And maybe try to kind of this is a bandage.
Who would be taking care of that?
At the moment, the only people are a butler or a maid, that we haven't even bothered to name.
There's in society.
In society, there are healers.
Can I just be call 911? The equivalent of that.
You know, as the person who put together the dossier, that theoretically the best living healer in this city is Hida Baronado.
Okay. Perfect. You know where he is, right?
Yes, yeah, you know where he is.
Is there another one?
You can probably tell them to go to the civil hall, and they'll go find somebody pretty easily, or run to one of the temples. Or, that would be the other option, would be bring him to the Temple of Amaterasu.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's see. Get something ready to bring him there.
No, absolutely.
Let's bring them both there.
Oh, and I think one of the servants flags down somebody, goes and runs, and soon will come back with someone with a rickshaw to bring them to wherever.
Rickshaws are really safe.
Yeah, rickshaws have worked out. The one time we brought them up in this game. You guys probably use them regularly, and we just never discussed it.
Shay walking everywhere. Fuck that.
So,
and the woman is...
Yeah, Genji is
dead.
Genji, she's still alive. She's breathing really, really heavily, but you see when she hit this thing and kind of slumped down on her back, where she's slid down and leaning in a very strange position against this post, banister post kind of a thing.
I think Anjo will say can you move your arms?
And you can hear her wheezing, breathing. She'll shake her head and say I'm useless.
I think he kills her.
Okay. So
if you could move her arms, you would have let her kill herself.
Yeah.
You'll help her out.
Okay.
When you lose that duel, you cut your stomach out, right?
Yeah.
I guess we'll do that.
Okay. Yeah. You see this? You just hear this big gasp exhale noise, as she kind of dies, and Anjo I think can hear this. Maybe Ishi can too, because you guys are the closest, and you just hear her. She just says something she was my little sister, and then just And the scene is very silent, unless Yugare is making a lot of noise in pain or Aji is making a lot of noise in pain. I think everybody else is. The only thing you hear is maybe like footsteps off in the distance getting closer, and then eventually it is this rickshaw.
I think Yugare says, like, it's not her fault, or something.
I think
This man's definitely shy.
Anja just like flicks the blood off his. Probably what's the little one? The Wakazaki?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he killed her with, I assume.
Okay.
And he's like, of course it wasn't. Just like, shut up, basically.
Yeah, he's supposed to be fucking letting these two nearly dead people into this
Yeah.
thing.
So you guys can definitely be put in this rickshaw to be brought to either Ide Bernardo or the Temple of the Sun.
Let's go for Bernardo.
Yeah, it seems like there's an incident already happening over there. To get there anyway.
Might as well do where it heads down, maybe. Be efficient.
Is Aji going to the Temple of the Sun, or is Aji going with these guys to see Bernardo and Yoshifusa's argument?
Or also maybe you do the other choice. Yeah, I'd go to Bernardo. That's where you're going, right? Or you're going to meet Bernardo. Yeah.
Apparently there's like, it's like a crowd or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The rickshaw is taking at least Yugare into the temple quarter.
I was thinking about if I had enough mental capacity to try to heal myself. Just enough to, like, close the wound and then, like, not be delirious.
Sure. You can see if you can feel that energy.
Oh, snake eyes.
Look at this.
Stop rolling into the pile of dice.
Wow, that is real bad, though.
Yeah. That was a 5.
That's a 5.
Good power level.
So, yeah, there's no clear result for the move on a miss.
Okay.
Other than bad.
Alright. So, I think that Yugare, you kind of perk up. You feel a lot.
Here it goes. I think your demon sheet.
I think that Yugare perks up. Kind of some of the bleeding stopped. He's just using his other arm to kind of like hold the rag like to the stump of his like right below the shoulder, and like he doesn't seem to be getting any more pale. His speech that was maybe a little bit weak seems a little better. And I think, yeah, you're convinced you are not going to die. You are much better off.
Good.
Don't worry about it.
Successful roll.
Yeah. So, in fact, you're convinced you don't need to go to immediately deal with your wounds.
Yeah. So I'll tell them when they try to rickshaw me, like, don't worry, the Kami will heal me. I have work to do.
Yeah, I think you realize that yeah, either as they're loading you into the rickshaw or as you're like in it and the traveling has begun. Either one of those.
So, don't worry about it. Just go to Bernardo.
Yeah.
So
Need to meet up with the magistrates so we can continue our work.
secret notes. All right. Yeah.
Should I read this now? Or?
So, then the four of you are assisted by this rickshaw driver, bring Aji and Yugare, who are way worse for the wear, head into the merchant quarter. You guys head up into the merchant quarter, and I'll say just for the hell of it, it's in the downhill, so it's nice and close by. And there's there is a big crowd outside of this. It's supposedly very early in the morning outside of this tea house, and it's like a very nice tea house, very expensive. A lot of the people in the crowd are samurai, and you can very quickly hear Shinjo Yoshifusa's like curses against Ide Bernardo, saying like you're the one who killed my son. You're the sneak. You're the crook who's always wanted my position. You've moved in here and taken tried to take away my authority, tried to undermine me, and then you killed my son. So when an old man dies, he doesn't even have an heir who can do anything about it. You've stolen everything. You've tried to steal everything from me, and I'm not going to take it anymore. You're a coward. You're a thief. A murderer. And Baronato's just kind of like just shaking his head. And I think they're fairly close together. Like one's maybe like on the steps of the equivalent of like the porch of the place, and Yoshifusa is just down at the foot of the steps, and there's only like 3 steps. And he's just yelling up at him. Hida Yasumitsu is there, and he looks very nervous. Baronato's living son. Yeah, he looks very nervous. The crowd quickly parts for you guys, so you can get to see the hubbub real quickly. I think there's a if you guys had just strolled in yourselves, there wouldn't be this, but the fact that you have a cart full of like bleeding, wounded people, there's you become a second attraction in this circus now, and so like all eyes are on you just as much as you kind of come up to this. And I think Baronato looks over to you guys, but Yoshifusa just keeps screaming, like he just keeps yelling, and he's like, all these people have seen you grow rich as you've taken more and more from other people in this city. All these people have seen you grow, your family grow fat on the work of others by taking from them, and now this, my son, my heir.
What did we find out about that killing?
Did we find out about the killing?
You asked Baronato about it, and he...
No, I knew Baronato didn't do it.
But Yoshifusa asked you to, like, formally investigate.
Which I did.
So...
Did you? What did you bring up?
I went in there and was like, yo, did you do it? And he was like, no. And I was like, cool. Don't you worry about it. That's what I was thinking. This whole game it's worked out pretty well. Actually.
Yeah, why do we see those bad investigators? I don't understand.
I know almost everything about this man.
So when you guys arrive, I think that Baronato kind of he comes down like a step or two, and I think some people are like, oh, what's going to happen with this? And he kind of like comes like more to like come over to you as you guys kind of approach, and he says thank you for coming, please. He's being, and again Yoshifusa just keeps yelling, and then he'll look at these guys and be like, "Dog by the fortunes."
I think Anjo's very loudly just like, we came to have you heal these two. Wait, is Yugare there too?
Yeah, both Aji and Yugare.
Yugare feels great, right?
I'll say as much. Is it bleeding like stopped, or is it still like a thing I gotta hold on?
I think at the moment you probably have to you're still holding on to this thing, but it's not like we had seen Yugare's face getting paler and paler as like he was losing massive quantities of blood, and that has at least stopped. So it seems as though your condition has stabilized, basically.
Yeah, so I think I'll say like
the only mechanical effect was that you had to drop that thing down, but
which was elegant, by the way. I think I might have.
Yeah. Well, now you are indeed covered in blood.
Yeah,
it does definitely make sense. Yeah.
I think I'll say like, I don't need any more medical treatment. I'll be fine, but perhaps if someone with 2 hands could bind my wound.
And he'll say, Baronato will say like absolutely, I can help him a bit right now, but you've got to stop him. He's made claims against my family that I can't bear. Baronato says this about Yoshifusa. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Aji will grow in pain.
Yeah, I'll say I'll take care of Yoshifusa. Just take care of these men. So we'll go over there. See what this boy's problem is.
Okay, so Baronato will he's engaged. He's not giving.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he's not giving Yugare.
Married.
He is married. Yugare, he's not giving Yugare and Aji his like full attention because he's still like watching what's going on. Bernardo is not giving Yugare and Aji his full attention because he's still trying to watch this scene, and he's still being like Yoshifusa is not far away. He's still like yelling at him, and
it's like a unicorn tea house.
Yeah, I'll say like that's the deal. The odds are one of the two of them is the patron of this tea house.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely Hida Bernardo. Ishi kind of turns at least towards Yoshifusa, and Yoshifusa is like, excellent, the magistrates are here. Arrest this coward for his dastardly crimes.
I want to read the person on him, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, so that's enough. I can ask him any questions.
These talking rolls are really good at.
Yeah.
The ones where swords are out. Dramatic.
Feels bad like asking anything. I'm just gonna ask him one of these questions. How can I get him to just like stop and just quiet up and go somewhere else and like not make a scene?
Well, he's already made the scene. Like
The scene is made.
to get him to quiet down.
He already told you that.
He wants. I mean,
I hear you. There are other ways.
yeah.
There's gotta be.
I mean, really, he wants Bernado's head in this situation. Like he wants Bernardo dead. To Yoshifusa, Bernardo killed his son and is like working against him and is a usurper. And so, yeah, that's what he's gonna want is for Bernardo to be dead.
Easy.
Ugh.
But yeah, that yelling continues. He's like yes, like this man doesn't even deserve a samurai's death. Hang him. And he'll point to a post that like could be used to like hang someone from this tea house, and he'll be like that's where he belongs, right there. Like hanging on.
Yeah.
I hear you.
This town is real into hanging recently too.
Yeah. That's the only questions I was going to get rid of this whole thing.
Ooh, does he do that, or does he instead? Are we close enough to the gallows that he can point to that?
Oh, we're definitely close enough to the gallows.
Okay, so we're close enough to the seven corners where he goes, that's where he belongs, right there, and he turns and he points to the gallows, which have been partially taken down, but not completely.
You can say
Like there are carpenters like in the process of taking some of it down. Meanwhile, Bernardo is like looking to.
Like a Shasta. Son, but that's what else do.
I think the person he immediately goes to look to is Yugare because he's much more severely, clearly badly wounded.
Missing an arm, but
Missing an arm.
I'll encourage him to help Aji.
Okay, and I think he'll try to do that.
We're going to join the army anyway.
Right. And what could we do as like maybe some kind of role for could Bernardo help Aji? We wouldn't be able to help him a lot, I feel, in this situation. It's very, very stressful, so like getting the kami to like magically heal you could be really tough. His mind's not in the right spot to do that. He could possibly help you just in like
Just be like a mover in high danger, right?
yeah. So do you think bold would be the thing that we'd roll for this?
Yes.
If you were trying to just make like a when you heal roll, what would that probably be?
Sagacious is like smarts, I guess. I don't know. It's real over.
We could say that it's your own connection with the kami if we're trying to get like immediate effects with that, like how open you are to them.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. And maybe you could make up for the deficit for your openness of his like being distracted. So
Your point's probably good, right?
yeah, go ahead and make
It's probably
Aji, go ahead and make a blessed roll.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Make a
Is it
blessed,
like negative? Yeah, it's
Make a
negative.
blessed-
It's like mine,
a
baby.
blessed roll.
As low as it can go.
It's your worst one.
Don't worry. XP time.
Oh my
4 and
So we got a 3.
all right, you got a 3.
And a 3, baby.
Okay.
Everyone's dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? No. Just do something good for you, right?
All right. So I think as What's the next question that you have? What's the next question that Ishi has for Yoshifusa?
How can I convince him that there's a conspiracy in the city, and that's who killed his son? They killed his son to turn him against Baronato.
Who said anything about conspiracies? I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, he already thinks there is a conspiracy, but that Baronato is doing it. So, he already thinks that.
So really, I have far less to go. I only have to convince him Baronato's not in the conspiracy.
Yeah. He's convinced that there is.
There's not a plus one with this is there.
Yeah, he's convinced that there is a conspiracy and that Baronato is a part of it,
which is technically true, isn't it?
And
depends on which conspiracy we get.
Yeah, we got a lot of layers here. This onion is fat onion. But so that Baronato's not like that. Baronato's being set up by a conspiracy. How could you convince him of that? Oof, that's gonna be tough. I think if Baronato were like put through the ringer, basically, like if he was like arrested and like the whole 9 yards, and it was like we didn't find anything, then Yoshifusa would probably just have to back down about it, because it's like in the end we went through the process of doing all of this stuff and we didn't get it.
This is a process. You're going in the right direction.
Right.
Death to torture.
Yeah, that's obviously.
So,
third question.
Yeah, what's your third question?
I shame him into shutting up? Did I shame him into shutting up?
Could you shame him into shutting up? I think he's in a position where, I'll tell you this, he is...
No.
Yeah, I was like, he feels he yes or no question.
He feels he doesn't have a ton to lose here in this situation. He is extremely furious. He's emboldened a little bit because of how sure he is of this. And so in the past, he'd been kind of like, when you met him, he'd been a bit of a like kind of a cranky old man who kind of like complained and yelled, the kind of person who'd like write a lot of nasty letters and complain about stuff. But now that he's sure of this thing and he feels what else is there, he's all in with this. All right.
I don't know if there's a lot of options here.
Right. Well, I think Aji, your Ide Baronato is trying to help you, and I think he says like you see that he keeps looking over. He's very clearly, as he's trying to assist you, he'll start a prayer and not finish it. And maybe Aji can tell this, maybe he can't. But I think maybe Yugare can hear that he'll start these prayers and they don't go anywhere. And so whatever effect he's trying to get from the kami, or even trying to just like appease the fortunes in a regular way a person would pray, he's theoretically not even doing that correctly because he's so distracted, and then he moves on to the next thing. He's very clearly hearing Yoshifusa's like insults, and as you kind of put yourself in, as Ishi kind of puts himself in between them and is questioning this guy and talking to him, trying to calm him down, what do we see Ishi doing as that's happening?
Ishi's definitely getting like shorter and shorter patience.
Yeah, you're getting this information, but like, what do we as the audience watching this TV show see Ishi doing as he's learning these things?
Probably, I'd say like getting angry. Okay. Like, his hand was closer to his sword and all that shit. He's getting pretty upset about this whole situation. So, is irrational.
I think he'll, the thing that you hear from Yoshifusa is, you've tried to take everything. He's tried to take everything from me, and now he went and took the last thing that I had that he didn't. A firstborn son. And I think Baronato is holding whatever he's holding for that, and he's like, Aji's arm. Yeah. And he's turning Aji's severed hand. Baronato turns around and says like, and he just like screams back at him and says, he looks at these guys very, very briefly, just to make sure, like, he just looks at them, and then he looks over predominantly at Ishi, but also Anjo, and says, "Will one of you be my second?" So Baronato says that, or one of you be my champion in this.
I guess I'll do it. Yeah. I don't know how people answer that. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know how you would emphatically be like, yeah, I'll do this. You do like that. Masako Anjo?
Yes. I feel like you couldn't say anything in this situation, right?
I mean,
Without losing face or anything?
you could read a situation. Sure. Awesome.
The first rule is me.
Is it really?
So,
For this game.
this isn't related to a crime, right?
Whatever. I
Well,
think
this
the whole city is a crime.
Yeah.
So always get that plus on.
Yeah, way better than the vice one that Taiyo never used.
Did more earlier. I did.
Once.
So, crime, yes or no? No.
I don't
Only
think
plus 3 then.
I don't think this directly is. Alright, so 8 plus 3 is 11.
11, yeah.
Not 12.
No, I don't have it advanced.
Okay.
Who are you?
Sorry. Just start now. Okay. So let's say which enemy is most vulnerable?
Which enemy is most vulnerable?
To me.
To you, specifically. At the moment, you have 2 people who seem pretty darn vulnerable to the decision that you, and I'm going to say you plural as in you and Ishi, could be making here. One is Yoshifusa. Like, he's a freaking old man. Like, he's like at least in his 70s. So if this duel were to happen, that doesn't bode well for him. He's an old man. But Baronato asked you guys, like more so Ishi than Anjo, but he asked you guys, his son is right here. His surviving son is present.
That's pretty harsh, right?
And so that says something here with this, either about like, it just tells you his vulnerability. Like he does not want to lose his only son. His only his only child. So like his vulnerability is he's terrified of losing a second son. Like whatever will jeopardize that is
that his heir now, I assume?
Yeah. And he's the one, Asamitsu is the one also engaged to Shisuru Kimi, the governor's daughter.
Kimi actually gone?
Yeah, she's back in Shisuru lands for now. They're still engaged, but Kimi's just not here.
That is a safe assumption.
Which is not unheard of, certainly in Rokugan, but
yeah, they were engaged.
But yeah, so that's the answer to that one. You get 2 more though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Fusa
and Baronato both have their vulnerabilities.
You're revealed to you. Fusa's just an old, I think you knew that.
I guess what should I be looking for?
Ooh. Yoshifusa seems convinced of all this stuff. And you had a bead, Anjo had a bead on like the politics of the city before and the goings on. He wrote this dossier. There was some animosity that might have been there in the past, but the fact that it has become this harsh and this open is like a big, big change. You think somebody's manipulating this old man? Like this old man is bringing stuff up that based on how you knew him, he wouldn't be this vitriolically angry. Like someone has changed him.
I'm only around connected.
He's been cranky and nasty, but he wouldn't. He's been cranky and nasty, but he'd be cranky and nasty in private.
Okay.
He'd be cranky and nasty in a letter.
Like he would have threats.
He would. No, he wouldn't be doing this to this guy's face.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Shinjo Yoshifusa has the authority on paper, Hida Baronato much more has the authority in practice. And Yoshifusa isn't an absolute idiot. So for him to do this, something has changed. He has been pushed into this.
Mm-hmm.
Or manipulated into this in some way.
Mm-hmm. But even more than his son dying, probably, or?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So no, because you think like
he was manipulated by his son's death.
Yeah, his son did this with his idiotic dying. No,
but a mastermind.
No, but even then, like you think in the past, if you thought his son would die, it'd be like, oh well, we better get ready for a lot of letters. And if Ishi had told you, oh, Yoshifusa thinks it was this person and came and asked for this request, you think it would have. It's not that it would have ended there, but it would not have come to a big. This is very public. This is all of this dirty laundry being aired in front of
there's like a giant crowd.
Yeah, there's anybody who. There's all of this people. It's very clear that it's an internal unicorn squabble. It's the guy who's the head of the unicorn clan in the city yelling at the theoretically most respected person in the unicorn clan in the city. This is different behavior for him. This isn't the usual thing.
That leads really well into who's in control here. My last question.
Ooh. You remember Genshi had said that Yoshifusa was working with the Scorpion?
Mm-hmm.
And you notice in the crowd, Bayushi Saigo is there. And he's watching this in a way that has with the trained eye, like socially of a magistrate. He's in charge.
That's probably fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so Baronato says I can't let this stand. This man slandered my name, slandered my sons, insulted the honor of my family.
I think
I'm not a warrior.
Yeah.
So if you let Ishi, he will champion.
What?
So if you let Ishi, he will champion.
I think Anjo's just gonna look at him and just say, up at him, bro. And so is this a magistrate's matter or a matter of his son? I think not. He's not like yelling at. This is like a private question to Ishi, theoretically.
It's a magistrate's matter of his son.
Just like, are you sure you want to be the champion instead of this guy's son? Basically, as in, like, yeah, I guess reading between or what he's actually trying to say. Well, I mean, you can read me. I want to make it easy on you.
I'll read you then.
All right.
Just so I can understand the question you're asking. 6
Okay, that'll be great.
9.
You did.
Here's a question. What do you mean? No,
Well, the good thing is now you get to ask him other questions aside from just what are you saying? What does your character wish I would do?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's one of those. I'm sticking with asking him that, or what does he intend to do? But I guess I'll just ask him. What do you intend to do?
Yeah, I think, Anjo intends to let you do this if you want, but he's, I think what he's, like I was saying, what he's trying to say is, like, this, are you really, like, close enough, like, are you being friendly? Because this is a magistrate's matter. This is, like, something you're doing on private time. Like, if that's what you want, then go for it.
Okay.
But this is not a magistrate's matter.
Yeah.
As they're discussing this, Aji and Yugare are, Baronato has turned from Aji and Yugare, and you guys are just both sitting in this rickshaw. It's kind of uncomfortable for both of you, for sure. It's not very big.
With blood.
They're not bleeding anymore, but they both definitely have a lot of blood all over them, and your rickshaws are not big, even like one's meant for multiple people. And
your pants are soaked. It's real uncomfortable selling all his blood.
They just scrubbed the specific ritual out. Taiyo died.
So, but as they're having this conversation, and you guys can hear as much of it as you think is appropriate, but as they're having this conversation, Yugare, you feel a dark presence.
Read the situation.
Sure.
Oh, that was one of those too. That's a good reason. Don't feel thorough, I don't think. Would that be not great?
Well, higher than 5.
But I would get a level up.
That's true. Maybe then you could choose to retire this character and get it now.
Alright, 7 plus.
1 is 8.
Oh my god.
Let me stop that in the 6.
That was a good
I didn't want it to bump the other dice together.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
It's just 6 is like one of the 2 numbers you need.
Alright, so you
It's a
got one
good
of those.
number to pair with the 1.
You got those questions, right?
Yeah.
I think you could just died again.
Guess what should I be on the lookout for?
Number 3.
There's a dark force outside of the city that is coming closer and closer to it, and may well be upon this city in, it might be as little as hours. And this is a force that Yugare has. This is a dark force that Yugare has felt before, and he knows it's not human.
So in the midst of this, like, dramatic chaos and whatnot, I'll just go right up to Ishi.
Just fucking walk up to me armless.
Yeah.
Armless over
In
here.
the middle of everything.
Yeah, I think you are still a little bit wobbly. A little bit wobbly, yeah.
Try to like put your not real arm, like to tap me with that one. Or you tap
He
me with
keeps
the real
doing
arm
this.
time.
He misses. He falls right
Use the phantom arm, you know?
Okay, yeah. Just gonna kind of like lean against me with your bloodstone.
I think maybe it takes a few Ishis to get your attention in the crowd.
Aji is directly next to you as you make this realization. Like, he's like sitting on the same love seat with you, basically, to tell you how close that you are to one another. Just as a heads up.
Yeah.
He's on the left
Maybe
side.
tell him first.
Fuck. Let's see if she gets him.
Yeah, maybe that's. You said it's.
I do kind of like you coming up to be like, to yell at Ishi with everything that's going on.
That's fine.
Is there the.
Because it just shows how much you cares not.
I know you said, like, I know what darkness is coming, but I kind of like the line of just turning to Aji and saying, the demon's coming, and then walk away from him toward Ishi, like I said before.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, you kind of like stumble a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of there. We do see like some of the crowd who are all like caught on you, and then a few eyes go over here as this pallid, blood-soaked one-armed man kind of walks not so steadily over to you. Yeah. Maybe
How am I supposed to use it?
I know.
you had the other arm.
But that one's busy.
Oh, you're right.
The blood in.
Oh, you're right. That is true. You're right. And because Baronato specifically didn't help you, yeah.
That's why I kept asking if it's still bleeding. I guess I just have to.
Just go
Zero arms.
Yeah.
0 arms, no canes.
So, yeah, I'll just go to Ishi. Just be like, Ishi! Ishi!
What? What is it?
What you're doing is important. But we don't have long before the demon arrives.
What? What do you mean?
I sense something dark coming to the city. It's maybe upon us already.
And I think Baronato, if Ishi turns to Yugare, Baronato is like this man's he will say this to Anjo, like, this man's accusations, meaning Yoshifusa, this man's accusations are baseless. They're an assault on my family. I need one of you to be my champion in this, for justice sake, please. And he'll go to say as a magistrate, he'll start to say that, and he'll say as a man with a family. I don't know if Ando does have a family. We've never addressed that, but I think he even just means like as a man who is a member of one of his families as much as anything else.
Yeah, Yugare, I think you've suffered some wounds. Maybe you should sit back down. We'll investigate that once we're done here. Can you hurry this along?
Alright, yeah, I guess so. Sorry. Stupid cold steams?
I mean, Anjo just to be put on the table. He's just dismissing you. Just like, shut up again.
Just resolve it quickly. You know the danger that could arrive.
Just fucking off this cold stuff before
I'll turn back to Anjo and be like, it is not to be taken lightly.
Of course. We'll take that into consideration. Hopefully this won't take long. I'd like to receive peace restored.
Is this the guy whose daughter we just killed?
It's his uncle.
Yeah,
uncle.
we just killed her.
Who talks again? She's an uncle.
She would have been a good champion.
Yeah, she would have been just fine, Greg.
Hold on one second.
30 seconds.
That's
Does it tell exactly how it went down?
So,
Probably not.
so does...
Yeah, I'm gonna go challenge Yoshifusa to a duel, I suppose. I'm gonna ask him if he has a champion, actually.
And Yoshifusa's I think he'll say he doesn't want to choose his own son. He won't lose that. Just kind of bringing that up again. He won't. His own son wouldn't come out here and do this.
Just be like face damage, see two boys.
See what. See how this man works. He'll steal another man's son, but won't risk one of his own here.
Thinking up, that's pretty cool, unusual. I think I'll Kishu bark out silence. It's time for a duel. You're not a champion.
I guess that would have to be me.
Sorry, Bayushi.
And a few people, very cowboy movie style, all the heads turn, kind of, and Bayushi Saigo is there. City of Lies is Toan as Kakita Aji, Branden as Hida Ishi, David as Bayushi Taiyo, Andrew as Agasha Yugare, and Austin as your Game Master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco. Additional music for this episode includes Winter is Coming Adagio by Dan Yan Key and A Fool of the First Water by Head vs. Wall. Our intro was read by Scott. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice. Hey everybody, if you could please rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher, it would really help This American Dice. And for every 5-star review we receive, we'll read it on air. Join us next week for another episode of This American Dice. Yeah.
Familiar.
Is it a thunderclap or is it a crazy electricity zap noise?
And what's the state of her skeleton?
Yeah.
How visible is it?
Real visible or only kind of?
The gentleman never tells.
Pikachu, Thunderbolt.
Wait, do we see Pikachu's skeleton ever? Do we know the pokeosteology of this creature?
I need to know.
It's just a spine. Everything else is fat.
Yeah. Lose some weight, fat little rat bitch.
You never questioned the basket hat on his stomach.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't notice that? You just had a baby in a basket.
Subtle increase in belly size every episode.
Every single episode, they'll be like, wait a second.